I think, yeah, I was audible. Sorry for that. I didn't
Very much
realize.
audible. I was desperately trying to tell you that you are, but I was muted
Right,
and
right, right. Yeah, yeah. So we do. Sorry, apologies for that. We can chat all as well. Okay, so there is an option to
I
chat
put
as well.
yes, yes, yes on the question box, but
Right.
I didn't see you
Didn't come
reply.
there.
And I was wondering what's going
Okay,
on.
no problem, Rajiv. No problem. No
Yeah,
problem.
sure.
Okay, we'll make a start. Thank you, for attending wherever you're joining us from. So if you're joining us from India, good evening. Okay, if you're joining us from the US, any of the Western countries, good morning. Anywhere from UK, afternoon. So I am Chirantan Mukherjee. I am the facilitator of this program, which Intellipaat does on the business analysis side. So let me just show you what we kind of cover usually as part of the program. Now, I am an industry person, so I don't do full-time training. What I do is I'm just one of you, right? So I kind of come from the financial industry, which I'm going to cover in just a while. But what I'll be very interested to do is keep this session very interactive, right? So we now know from Rajiv that we can unmute and talk, right? So do feel free to unmute and kind of talk wherever you want to pitch in. What I will do is I will just cover about 15 minutes in terms of the curriculum and in terms of what we plan to cover as part of the BA workshop, the business analysis workshop. And then I will open up to the floor for questions as well. So please make use of the time. Do ask me questions. I'm there at your disposal. Don't feel shy. Okay, no one is judging you here. This is not a corporate world. This is very much a very open-minded webinar. Okay, right. So with that, let me kind of just do a full screen and start this. Put this behind. Okay, so this is what we covered. So why should we do business analysis? Okay, or what is the marketability for business analysts across the globe? This is a sneak peek to that, right? So we've seen that there are considerable scope for business analysts. So let's start from the bottom. You look at this, the BA salary and job outlook. It reports that there is an annual average salary for management analysts and BAs of 86,000, roughly 86,000 US dollars, and this was 2 years back. So the average has slightly gone up. And if you look at it, the studies stated that the business analyst jobs globally is scheduled to grow by 11%. If you look at the world average, I would say that it is not just 11%. I would say it's a very healthy 13 to 18, 19% in terms of the growth. I can talk about my own company, right? So I kind of manage a large portfolio as well. We initially had, I guess, 40 business analysts, but over the last 1.5 years, our team size has gone to more than 150. So we are definitely much ahead of the numbers that you see in the global survey. Now, typically, if you are in the US, you can kind of look at a median salary of 75K, but there are chances of you to, if you're working as a business analyst, you can easily go up to 120, 150, even up to $180,000 is not a problem in the US. If you're looking at London, then you do get to see a median average of 50. So I keep kind of shuffling between India and UK. So I completely don't work out of India. So if you stick to me next month, I'll be in London. But this is the kind of job market that we've got in the UK as well, right? So if you're based out of the UK, you can think about a median of 50K. But again, it can go up to easily 100 GBP, 120, 130 GBP is not unheard of, right? So it's a very commonplace thing as well. Now let's open up a little bit, make it a little bit more interactive. What about Indian salaries? Any idea? So let's say we're talking about salaries in India, top 5 percentile or top 10 percentile of BA jobs. What kind of salary do they offer? Any idea? Across industries, across domains? What kind of salaries are we talking about in India? Any idea?
I think it depends
No.
on experience too, but yeah, the visibility is not that clear since at least I haven't had
Right.
much of an experience or exposure to that kind of salaries or what they give. But experience, I think, makes a big difference.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you are I'm going to talk about industries. So if you look at a particular job portal, for example, and I'm not going to name the job portal, but if you look at the common job portal in India, you will be surprised to hear that there are about 38,000 business analyst jobs today, right? And while these 38,000 BA jobs are there, it is not across just BFSI, or banking and financial services industry, and it is also not just only in IT. So if you do some statistics, and which I've been kind of following, it's almost my second nature to follow the job market. So 55% of the industry in terms of jobs are in BFSI and IT. So they are definitely a clear winner when it comes to industry. But that's not where business analysts are limited to. That's what we wanted to discuss in this forum, that BAs started with BFSI, started with IT, but today there is a phenomenal growth, right? So if you look at it, there are 55 industries where we are hiring BAs. Okay, 51 to 55 industries, right, from manufacturing to shipping to logistics to HR, you name it. You name it. You name the industry. Legal, mining, everywhere you have BAs, right? There is a majority of demand. And in fact, the industries outside of BFSI, outside of IT, have a very good share, which is about 45% of the jobs in India. Now, if you look at the percentile, right? So in terms of the percentile of where we are and what's the kind of compensation that's on offer, if you look at the top 5 to 10 percentile of jobs, they are between 50 lakhs to 85 lakhs, right? When you're looking at 50 lakhs to 85 lakhs in the Indian market, and I'm not talking about jobs outside India, this is a good package, right? So there is a lot of demand for experienced business analysts, and typically that's what that's why we are doing this course. It is not just for the typical experienced BAs, but in the course in Intellipaat, we do welcome people without any BA background. Okay, so let me just go through in terms of what we do, and then I'll talk a little bit about, show you a sneak peek of what we kind of cover. But this is a little bit about myself, guys. Okay, just a little bit about myself, not to read much into it. So I am a CBAP for the last, I would say, 7 years. I have been training hundreds of business analysts across the globe. I lead a global team. I'm a senior vice president in Morgan Stanley, and I lead a global team. But in the curriculum, I'm just a trainer, right? But we talk a lot about the industry experience, right? So I kind of, along with the BA part, which is CBAP. CBAP is by far the highest qualification that you can go with IIBA. But we do talk about quite a few things like agile in the course. We do talk about what is a product owner's role, right? So what does a product owner do versus a normal business analyst on a waterfall project does. We talk about that, and we encourage a lot of, it's a workshop, guys. Okay, we encourage a lot of quizzes, we encourage a lot of conversations. I think that the most important testimonial, I think you should maybe spend a little bit of time with Dilip and Aditya in terms of understanding what the testimonials have been for our curriculum. I think the most important standout for me, at least in terms of testimonial, is that we have fun while we discuss, right? So it is not that I'm going to run through a few hundred boring slides with you. This is a workshop. You will do hands-on business analysis, right? Right from waterfall, understanding agile, the roles of a business analyst under waterfall methodology, the roles of a business analyst under agile. We will do all of that. Okay, this is just a little bit about myself. Let's just move on. Okay, and this is the course curriculum. So the course is aligned to IIBA, which is International Institute of Business Analysis. Now, IIBA, interestingly, for people who are uninitiated, is the gold standard for business analysis. Anyone knows any other bodies which are doing BA courses? Guys, anyone has heard of any body which is giving you a BA certification? Anyone has heard of any other bodies other than IIBA? No? Okay, so there are quite a few bodies. Okay, so when you enroll for this workshop, we do cover what's the difference. So why should I be doing a course with IIBA? Because that's the gold standard. So if you look at project management, for example, you would do project management professional, right? That certification called PMP from PMI, Project Management Institute. So the equivalent of Project Management Institute in the BA world is IIBA, which is International Institute of Business Analysis, which is based out of Toronto in Canada, and their certification is known globally, right? So there are different levels of certification which we will come to, but the course curriculum that we will do does not automatically mean that the curriculum is going to be completely fixed towards the IIBA curriculum. We are going to be aligned to that, but there will be a lot of justification, there will be a lot of discussion, even for people who don't come from a BA background, right? So many of my students, we welcome students without a business analysis background. So many people ask me that, Chirantan, do you need any prior experience to enroll into the program? I would say none. Just an open mindset. Okay, we've got people with 1 to 2 years of experience, and we've got people with more than 20 years of experience doing the batches, right? So everyone is welcome, right? So that's the more important thing. These are the knowledge areas. So BABOK is business analysis body of knowledge, very similar to PMBOK, which is the project management body of knowledge, and these are the all 6 which we cover in detail. Now, this workshop you will do quite a few other things. Okay, so let me show you the tool that we use, right? So everything is on a system called learning management system. Okay, but we use a project collaboration tool called Trello. Okay, so Trello, Trello. I hope you can see this. On Trello, we kind of have all of the material, including, so there are a lot of templates which you can use as a business analyst, ready-made templates. We do a lot of videos. We do full-length mock right at the end. So there is a simulation exam that, so half of it, not the full length, because we can't really spend 3 hours, assessing ourselves, or 3 to 4 hours. But we do a half-length simulation exam to understand our knowledge at that point of time. There is a book as well, which is a very popular book by Susan Weiss and Terry Wagner, which you get the most recent version of that you get when you enroll. And then there are lots of exercises. So this is a dynamic dashboard that you see. So you have queries, you have got notes, you've got revision and exercises, you've got quizzes, you've got midweek exercises, all of that. And towards the end, don't forget this. I should not be forgetting this, but you will look at full-length business requirement document. So people who have never seen what does a BRD look like, what does an FSD look like, we actually use sensitized document from the industry. So the actual business requirement documents is what we will be presenting in the curriculum. Okay, and along with that, we will be doing mock tests as well. So there are mock tests here which we will be looking at, right? So that's a sneak peek onto the tool that we have. Okay, now coming back to the curriculum. Okay, so let's just kind of continue. There are a few things which I wanted to show you here, right? So the certification, right? So these are the different levels of certification that we have, right? So you have from IIBA, you have ECBA, for which no prior experience is needed. People who attend this workshop can straight away after this workshop write ECBA. and I can give you a guarantee you will not become unsuccessful. The kind of rigor, the kind of discussions that we have, you're going to qualify that. We will give you from Intellipaat rather would give you the certification for 35 hours, which is needed for doing CBAP, which is the highest level of qualification. For CBAP, you need 3,750 hours of BA experience in the past 7 years. You can write this as well. So if there are medium experienced business analysts, people who are already doing BA, but they haven't been certified, we kind of recommend CCBA. But if you are an expert BA, I would say that at least 7 to 8 years of very solid business analysis experience that you have, you can straight away write the flagship exam, which is CBAP, Certified Business Analysis Professional. Right, so that is something that you can write. Okay, so that's all that I wanted to cover in terms of the curriculum. Now, what I want to do is open up for questions, right? Because I want to allow at least 15 to 17 minutes, if not more, to check if there are questions. So what are you looking for? How can we tailor the program? What is it that you want to know a little bit about business analysis? What interests you? So maybe another common question, right? Which I kind of get is, Chirantan, do you need someone to come from an IT experience, someone to come with a BA background? Not essential. You can come from an HR background. You can come from sales and marketing. You can come from legal. You can come from manufacturing. There is no problem with that, right? So we welcome any domain and every domain, right? So you don't need to come with any preset qualifications or prerequisites. Okay, so with that, do we open up for questions? I want to make this very interactive, guys. You're not here for a monologue, right? I think there is a good opportunity for us. The weekend is still a couple of hours away, right? Depends on where you are in the globe, though. So feel free to ask. Please unmute yourself, ask questions. Very happy to kind of take you through. Very happy to answer any industry questions as well. I myself have got more than 14 years of business analysis experience, of which 12 to 13 years of experiences in banking. But I have been a consultant, so I've been on the other side of the consulting organizations as well, and I have seen reasonably good domains, right? So I have seen banking, I have seen risk management, I have seen operations. Within banking, of course, there are different sub verticals, and outside of that, I started my journey as an IT BA, but of late I am an enterprise level business analyst. So right, so I operate at a strategic level where I have global teams of business analysts, right? So I can talk through journeys of myself, my team. Feel free to ask.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah,
Can you
can
hear
hear
me?
you. Yeah,
Okay.
can hear you.
Yeah. So I'm Rajiv. I work in HCL for the Stanley Black and Decker account. My work in SPD is basically a BA kind of role, but it's not a full-fledged BA kind of role. It's more of a testing BA kind of role.
Yeah.
So, and my earlier exposure to Fonterra and New Zealand also was not a full-fledged BA. Like, it was more of an offshore BA who did whatever was asked to do. So it was not kind of, full-time engagement with the customer. So
Right.
given that experience, that it totally, takes up. If you look at it, then this current project has been about 3 months now, and Fonterra was about a year. So it's about a year and a quarter of experience in terms of a real BA activities. So based on that kind of or that level of experience, you can, first of all do ECBA or CCBA. Get feedback for a minute, but at least in terms of ECBA and CCBA. So do you
Yeah.
think that that kind of experience is good enough, or you need more direct exposure?
Right. So Rajiv, where are you based out of? HCL,
I
which
I
city
I,
is in Bangalore?
I work out of Chennai.
You work out of Chennai, yeah. So
Yes.
I am an ex HCL person, first of all.
Okay,
Okay.
great. Great.
So I know what HCL is up to. I spent a good 4 years in HCL
Mhm.
initially, where I was based out of Bangalore.
Okay.
That was a great journey. I hold first of all HCL in very high esteem, right? Because of their professionalism, because of their the opportunities that you get with HCL, right? So that's fantastic. Now, when you said that you have been doing testing, I'm assuming that you're doing functional testing, right? So you are doing more of the
Yes.
UI based testing. Okay, perfect.
It's more
So
of website
UAT.
testing where they are creating their websites and we do the tests on the websites to check if any errors and bugs and go
Yeah,
back to the
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I think testing is an integral part of a BA's journey. Okay, so if you ask me honestly, and I'll talk about a little bit about my journey. When I started off as an IT business analyst, Rajiv, after doing a few years of IT business analyst where I was responsible for writing the functional specification document, back then we didn't do agile, right? So everything was on
yes.
waterfall. Now after doing that, we saw that the QA team, the quality assurance team, which is the testing team, it is actually incorrectly being called QA team. The real name for testing is quality control in the industry, but there is a misnomer that they call them the QA team, but for whatever purpose that name has been coined to it or coined to the role, I was taken off from the dev side of business analysis, so from the FSD team, and I was asked by my management team back then. I'm talking many years back. I think 14 years back. That Chirantan, can you kind of join the QA team as a test lead?
Okay.
And I said, and I said that what would be the objective of being the test lead? They said that they are raising defects which are actually um, understanding issues. They are not really functional defects or functional and non-functional defects, right? So you know what's functional and non-functional
Yeah.
requirement. So functional requirement is with the requirement. Non-functional is more of the quality, right?
Yes.
Usability, scalability, and all of those things. So I spent a good 1.5 years leading the testing team, and their understanding issues went up. There was a big tussle initially between the project manager, whom I was used to earlier report. So that project manager and me were now peers, right? So we had very high intensity of debates that this is a defect and this is not a defect, because see, I knew the functionality. Now see, Rajiv, when you do testing, and because I have myself hands-on done both QA, which is integration testing, as well as user acceptance testing, I can tell you that has given me a very broad insight in terms of a business analyst. From my testing experience, I have learned a lot. Because see, when you're doing the testing, you understand what is the requirement, what is expected of the requirement. So the acceptance criteria is nothing, and this is the challenge in terms of agile today, right? When we ask BAs to write good quality user stories, you will see more often than not the acceptance criteria is not up to the mark. So what is missing? The hat of wearing testing and the hat of using the right kind of scenarios is missing, right? So testing has got a great value add in terms of the business analyst role. And coming to a latter part of the question, many people come from a pure testing background, and I've done hundreds of such migrations, Rajiv, who have
Mhm.
never done business analysis. They have been 5 to 7 years they have done testing, then they have enrolled into the program, and then they have successfully completed CCBA. As you rightly said, you won't do
Okay.
CBAP because CBAP does not make sense for you at that point of time. You will do CCBA, and they have got BA roles. Right from testing, they have gone into mainstream business analysis. So this is a very common journey. This is a very common journey, a very important journey. The workshop is going to make you do that, right? Because see, you already know about the testing part. What is missing are the jargons. are the way you call something. So let me give you a very simple example. Okay, and this is where, see, I don't even need the book. So there is a technique, and there are 50 plus techniques on Babok, right? One of those techniques is stakeholder list, maps, or persona. Has anyone heard about this? Stakeholder list, maps, or persona. Rajiv, have you heard about it?
Yeah, I have a bit of an understanding in terms of personas, but yeah,
Okay.
not used
I,
it directly.
I will tell you now. Now, stakeholder list, maps, and persona is nothing but, just one second, guys. Okay. Just going to silent my phone. So stakeholder list, maps, and persona is nothing but a RACI matrix. Now, now can you relate to it? Some of you,
Yeah.
RACI matrix: responsible, accountable, consulted, and informed. That's it. So there are many techniques in Babok which are actually we are using in the industry, right? And there is obviously, you will come to know across requirements traceability metrics. Traceability is understood in a very simple as well as comprehensive manner when you do this workshop. So you will understand what is forward traceability, which is allocation, what is backward traceability, which is derivation. Okay, so you will be able to see this, and I'll let me actually show you something which is very interesting. Okay, let me show you something which is, and these are dynamically things which we have created. You won't get this in the industry anywhere. This is the advantage of doing the workshop phase. Okay, see this. This is the entire project life cycle, right from the project charter to high level requirement to a BRD to an FSD to a design doc to coding, test strategy, high level scenarios, test cases, test results, sign off. We have even covered a TOM, target operating model, and post go live support. And all of this we discuss in detail. You actually write this, you make this for your project, which is nothing but the requirement traceability matrix. But have you seen this kind of comprehensive requirements traceability matrix? Probably not. I'll be very surprised if you have seen this level right from project charter till post go live support. You won't even find it anywhere. You can Google it. You can Google, and I can give you my challenge. You can Google this, you won't find this kind of document in the industry. This is years of practice that we have sustained and put together in these templates. So you will have all of this at your disposal. And again, just to answer your question, Rajiv, you don't need any qualifications to write ECBA. And for CCBA, you do need 3,750 hours of experience, which roughly translates to 2 to 3 years of work experience. But that, if you have 2 to 3 years of experience, we can write the application in a way that you have done testing. Sorry, you have done business requirements or the BA's role. So your application should sail through. And I am there here to review each and every application, right? So each and every application, you will have a comprehensive form which I will send out. That form is going to give you everything. You don't have to do anything. Just fill up the form. It will calculate the hours in each knowledge area, and you will be ready for your application. So you just have to do Control C, Control V, which is copy paste in your actual application. Okay. Did I answer your questions? Okay, Rajiv, you are happy?
Yeah, I have another one, but we'll come to that as we go on.
Sure, no problem. No problem. More the merrier. More the merrier. Let's give some opportunities to other people. Guys, do feel free to talk about things. Arun is there. Ayuluwala, Beila, Janice, Fatima, Gurpreet, Jazel, Kirthana, Rajiv, Sanjay. All of you can pitch in. Don't feel shy. This is your moment. This is where you need to ask questions. It can be anything, and no question is a stupid question. You want to see something, that's one of the golden rules that we kind of cover, that no question is a stupid question. Most important. Okay, and these are the different certifications and all of those things. See this, guys. This we are following here. No question is a stupid question, but questions have to be asked at the right time. So think of myself that you're doing an interview or a BA workshop. I am a stakeholder. You have to use the time judiciously. So ask anything under the sun related to business analysis, of course. While others are thinking, Rajiv, you want to go for your next one? People are still thinking. You can put it on the chat as well in case you are uncomfortable. Put it on the chat here. On the chat.
Not just waiting if someone had something to say. But the other thing which I've noticed in my short term with the current account is that the BA and product owner is a little more technically skilled. But I see that even the BA level people do have fair or more than fair amount of technical knowledge. Technical knowledge in terms of how the coding works and how the integrations happen and what is the exact thing missing if an integration does not happen. Like if something X data doesn't flow into Y place, they know that this is the place where it is broken. So that level of technical ability. Now, in this case, it's a tools manufacturing company, but other cases it may be some other unit. So the IT level of technicality seems to be a very high gauged requirement to get into this kind of role. It is not that if you understand the business or if you know, like, user data has to go from point A to point B, and if it breaks, where is it breaking or what is the configuration missing?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that seems to be a kind of prerequisite, which makes or breaks your business analysis journey with an organization. So somehow I feel that I'm not totally technical. I've done a bit of SAP, and in Fontera I did a BA work on SAP with the SAP business analysts in Fontera at New Zealand, working from offshore. So again, it was they were the technically equipped guys, and we just mapped their processes, understood the workflows, and kind of streamlined the process. We did not go into the nitty-gritties of their operations. So again, here it is testing where I being non-technical, if something breaks, I'm not able to answer the question or tell the people that, okay, this is where it's broken. This is the point where it might have gone wrong because of the lack of pure technical knowledge.
Right.
How does that kind of it's a kind of you feel kind of lost when they go into deep technical discussions?
Yeah. So see, my answer to that will be, Rajiv, that as a business analyst, it is not necessary that you need to know coding. It is not necessary that you need to know each and every diagram, but it is though necessary to understand the technical jargons. Now, for example, and we are going to talk about it at length in the class. What is an API, for example? What is an enterprise bus? Why is an API and an enterprise bus important to an architecture diagram? And if it's an architecture diagram, should the domain side business analyst be looking at it, or the IT side business analyst be looking at it? We cover questions like, if the architecture diagram is there, and if you have an architect, why should the IT business analyst even bother? But you do have to bother, right? Because if you don't know the architecture diagram, you cannot go from an entry-level BA to a pronounced BA, to a mid-career BA, and from a mid-career BA to an experienced BA. I would say it is not the technical bit, Rajiv. And see, I'm not the single biggest expert in the industry, but I feel that from that mid-career to an expert BA, what makes or breaks are the soft skills. So whether you're able to negotiate, whether you're able to display leadership, whether how well networked are you in the organization. So all these roles play a big role in terms of your growth as a business analyst. But now your question was on the technical understanding. The good part, the good or bad part is, as a part of this workshop, you have to mandatorily do tools with me. Industry renowned tools you will learn, and each one of you have to show the results of the tool. Now, what do we cover? We cover process modeling through a tool. So you will need to know what is the current state and what is the future state. You will do it on a part of a tool. You will be able to see how do we integrate that tool with your BRD now. So let's say you've made a diagram. How do you integrate it with your BRD or your FSD? The second thing that we will do is the bread and butter of a business analyst are drawing prototypes, right? Which we call as wireframes. In Agile, we call it as wireframes or prototypes. So you will again use a tool for doing a wireframe or a prototype, right? The third thing, now these two are very essential, right? The process modeling as well as the prototype. The third thing, which is a bread and butter again, are the UML diagrams, right? So unified modeling language. Those diagrams we will cover quite a few. We will look at a few through industry tool again, and these tools can be used in the organization with your permissioning, right? So we will be doing a use case diagram. So you will have a business case, you will have exercises which you'll have to do in the class. There is a business side problem. How do you represent that through an UML? Okay, UML use case modeling language diagram. But my one kind 2 cents of advice is that whenever you are going to get educated with these diagrams, make sure that your stakeholders do understand it. They are familiar with the diagrams. Sometimes we make that unknown assumption, or that our stakeholders, especially the C-suite stakeholders, right? So let's say the MDs, the sponsors, the executive directors, they are all aware about what is a UML diagram. So there was, it's a small joke I want to share, okay? So there was this BA in my team who introduced himself as a business analyst. He said that I am a BA, I'm a business analyst, and I represent the IT side of the organization. And today I'm here to walk you through a unified modeling language diagram, which is a use case diagram. And he went through the diagram. And he gave a walkthrough of this diagram for half an hour. And then he opened up for questions, just like how we are doing, right? After a workshop, you open up for questions. And when he was opening up for questions, one of the stakeholders said that it's difficult, and you know, this is, I'm with no offense, guys, okay? This is a joke only. It must be difficult for you as a business analyst to come up with this diagram. So he says, why do you think it would be difficult for me to come up with this diagram? Then he said that if you have studied history and geography or political science, it is very difficult to come up with IT. And how do you come up with domain? You're working in a financial organization. How do you? Then this guy was perplexed. He said, hold on. In my UML, I did not write history or geography. From where did you get history and geography as a subject? And the poor guy says, no, you just said you're a BA. So you're a Bachelor of Arts, right? BA means Bachelor of Arts.
Okay.
So you must have studied history and geography. Imagine he has got no idea about the diagram. Right?
Okay.
So we can't make that assumption that people are following us, right? So there is something called paraphrasing, right? When we are doing the presentations, it is very important that you paraphrase. That ask one of your stakeholders to repeat what you are saying. That person might be just blindly nodding, right? So you have to take a pause, ask an intelligent question to understand whether the person on the other side of the table is even understanding or not. Right? So there is a dedicated soft skills, kind of tool that we do as well. I mean, not tool, a soft skills session where we talk about leadership, we talk about communication, we talk about negotiation, facilitation, teaching. What is the role of a business analyst in terms of teaching? All of those things we also cover. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed the joke. And no offense to people from a Bachelor of Arts background. Okay. Okay. Anyone else has got questions?
Yes.
Put it in the
Hello,
chat also.
Chirag.
Hi.
Yes. Aditya, this side from the Intellipaat side. So just wanted to, urge all the participants. See, sir has taken out the time from his busy schedule. He's a working guy, obviously. And today he has spent almost an hour now interacting with you guys. So any questions that you're having, now is the right time to go ahead and ask. Or else, we can go ahead and give you the brief idea about the training programs as well. But any question that you have related to business analytics, business analyst, related to certification, please, and now is the time, please go ahead and ask. And
This is Gurpreet.
one.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes. My question is, I have been finance analyst for 15, 20 years. I know you were saying no background is needed, but just if you can name a few things that business analysis will include, that it's a kind of a must.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks, Gurpreet. Yeah. So I think, see, from my understanding of business analysis, it depends on which domain you're working in. Now, Gurpreet, let's say that you're working in, let's say, I don't know what's your background, but let's just assume that your background is accounting, and you come and join a firm or join one of the top 4 consulting firms, PwC or Deloitte, PricewaterhouseCoopers or Deloitte or Bain and Company, etc., or BCG Consulting, Boston Consulting. And because you're an accountant, they give you a project which says that we have to implement IFRS 9, right? So International Financial Reporting Standard 9 is what you have to implement. Now, in those cases, you need to have a domain understanding. So I'm not saying that the domain is something which you can take out of a BS journey. You definitely need to work within the domain. Now, if you are an accountant, you need to know the rules of debit and credit. You need to know what's an asset versus what's a liability. If you're in a financial services industry, I'm sure you would agree with me. So that domain is definitely an integral part. But other than that, as a business analyst, you need to know a few things, which is what are the techniques to elicit requirements? How do you manage stakeholders? Gurpreet, let me ask you a question. Each and every stakeholder who's and a stakeholder, what is the definition of a stakeholder? An individual or a group who is impacted or influenced or impacts or influences the outcome of a project. See how clear we are in the definition. Now,
Agreed.
stakeholders all have very different interests, right? Some are positively impacting the project, some are negatively impacting the project.
Yes.
So if you don't pay attention to those finer points, they can derail because they can influence the project in a negative manner. So I'll give you one small example, Gurpreet, if you allow me. This was me many years back. There was this guy who moved from a financial, so he was a financial controller, but he liked change management as a domain. And because of his vast functional knowledge and because of the change management background, he joined the program management office. There are different levels. There is a project management office, PMO. Then there is a program management office. Sometimes you also have a portfolio management office. So this guy was an tenured executive director in the bank, and he joined the the program management office. And the PMO was one of the stakeholder groups in my on my project. Now it so happened that in the busy schedule of updating stakeholders, functional stakeholders, the sponsors, the operations guys, the legal, the tax, for some reason, my team members forgot to give due respect to the PMO office. And this guy created a huge ruckus when it came to UAT sign off. He said, no, none of your templates are following the organizational standard. While you may have content, you'll have to redo a lot of things. What's a PMO for, Gurpreet? A PMO is basically a division which helps in shared understanding of tools, templates, resources, all of those things. Now, if you do not pay attention, and this is where, because he or she did not know what's a stakeholder register. He or she did not know what's an impact influence diagram. These are all things that we will do in the workshop. What is an impact influence diagram? How do you know which stakeholders to manage closely? How do you know which stakeholders to monitor on a daily basis? How do you know which stakeholders to keep satisfied? Which stakeholders to keep informed? So all of those things, right? So technical skills, the softer skills, and the ability to kind of do the data analysis. Data is a very integral part, right? So let's say you're a business analyst, you do not know data mining good with. Data mining is nothing but fetching data from a database. So you should know what's a physical data model, what is a logical data model. So all of those things are integral part of a BA role. Did I answer your question?
Yes, yes. Just to give you my background, I've been accounting is less part of it. Main is my part is data, and that's why I'm interested in. I work for Baker Hughes. It's been
I know
6
Baker
years,
Hughes.
and but previous financial background. So mainly, I've been doing a lot of analysis. So deal with data, on a daily basis. So and I do have some weaknesses, and that's where I want to improve those and have a better analysis, and also have a better understanding on the stakeholder side, which I have zero clue of that, because as a finance person, you don't deal with people that much. So that's why I'm interested in, and I'm definitely looking forward to know more detail about it and listen to the rest of the webinar. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, Gurpreet. Just a couple of, more, or just maybe 1 minute on this question. Because you are interested on the data side, just food for thought. And this is for everyone. This is just not for Gurpreet, but this is for everyone, that we should know what is data management. What are the data terms? So what is metadata, for example? What is a data warehouse? What is the difference? If I know what's a data warehouse, what's the difference between a data warehouse and a data lake? Are these the same thing? Or can they be used synonymously? No, they cannot be used synonymously. There is a big difference between a data lake and a data warehouse, right? Then what is a critical data element? Let's say you're doing data modeling, Gurpreet. We need to know what's a critical data element. What is the definition of a critical data element? And do we know those tools? Are we able to identify those tools through which we can do modeling for those critical data elements? Right? How do you store these data elements? How do you do data modeling? So we will definitely get a sneak peek of this.
Yes, definitely. That is the part. It's very important to me, and so I'm looking forward to that. Thank you.
Welcome, most welcome. Anyone else? I'm quite happy to extend. I don't know, Dilip, Aditya. I think we are okay to extend for another 5 minutes if people have got questions, because I am definitely enjoying the webinar. I don't know about you guys. I really like the questions.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. If people are having questions and you're ready to answer, then we can surely extend, no problem.
Perfect. See, guys, it's your time. More questions. We can definitely learn a little bit more. Even I can learn, right? I can learn from your experiences.
Correct. I have unmuted everyone. So if anyone wants to go ahead and ask a question, you can just unmute yourself and you can just ask.
If you can move ahead.
Okay, I think that's it. No, people are don't want to ask more questions, but feel free to kind of send any feedback, any kind of questions which you could not ask, I think you can kind of put it on to maybe you can share it on an email. You can share this, Aditya, Rahul, right? And people can even come back even after this session. Perfectly fine.
Correct. Thank you so much, Chirantan. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining this session. One of the other objectives that we had for conducting this session was to introduce to you the IIT Madras program that we have for data science and business analytics. We are also having a complete post-graduation certification program for business analytics and product management. Now, this advanced certification program, which today the trainer Mr. Chirantan mentioned, will cover everything as per the requirements that are there for clearing the certification exams. Each of the individual certification exams which are there, like ECBA, CCBA, and CBAP. And this course is also, it will carry the requirements, the required PDUs for clearing the exam from IIBA directly. This is an online instructor-led training program, similar to how the session was conducted today. It will be interactive live sessions. You can share your screen during the classes, provide remote access to your keyboard and mouse. So a practical-based training will be conducted, wherein whatever concerns or issues you're having, those can also be answered to in the session. And if any problems you're facing, those can also be looked into during the session itself. So that is how the training is delivered. Now, I'm sure everyone was given a good idea about what are the major roles and responsibilities that are there for a business analyst. And some of the questions also came up, right? People who are in the technology background as working as a business analyst in IT or in some other background, what kind of tools and technologies that you would need to have knowledge upon. So if you head over to our website, you can review the curriculum, you can go through the details, and majorly if you see the tools, the mentors who are conducting the classes, these are all experienced professors, people who are having very good amount of experience. Mr. Chirantan is also part of the training program. He is also one of the course advisors, so you can also go ahead and look at his LinkedIn profile. You can connect with him. But apart from that, you can also look at the faculty members and the mentors who are going to conduct your classes. So the entire training has been designed in such a way so that you cover all the essentials that are there, requirements that are there: CBAP, certified business data analytics certification, agile for project management, UML diagrams as was being discussed. Apart from that, data visualization as well. Gurpreet, you said you're coming from a background in which you are working on data visualization and analysis a lot. The tools that we are covering, SQL for business analytics, will cover data mining, also getting data from the database. My Excel will also be covered, mastering Excel for business analysis. And then, Python will also be touched upon, and a capstone project will also be there. Now, why Python is being covered? Because Python is the most, advanced programming language. It provides a lot of functionalities wherein the libraries are already present, which help you in data analysis, in data science. The libraries are there for scientific calculations, for machine learning, for artificial intelligence. So instead of memorizing code, you can easily import libraries and you can run the functions on any given data set. So this will also be covered as a part of the curriculum. The total duration of the program is more than 7 months. 60 plus live sessions are conducted where industry oriented projects and case studies are covered. More than 4 case studies are included as a part of the program, with the capstone project, which will be basically integration of all the different modules that are there that you're learning as a part of the training. You'll be using SQL, you'll be using Excel, you'll be using Tableau for reporting, you'll be using UML diagrams, you'll be working on agile for project management. So completely it will be delivered. If any questions people are having, you can still post them in the chat. I'll be happy to answer your questions as we discuss the complete program. Apart from that, the training, like I said, this is a post-graduation certification. We are also having an advanced certification with IIT Madras. So the one which is suiting your requirement, you can go for that. The one with IIT Madras is a little more technical. It focuses more on the technology side of things and data science side of things. So if you are coming from a completely non-IT background and you want to start your career as a data scientist, data analyst, or a business analyst, then this program is the one that you can go for. Now head over to our website. If you have any questions, you can reach out to us. You can share your contact details and my team can revert back to you. You can also reach out to me. I am sharing with you my contact here. You can reach out to me via email. I'm sharing my email ID with everyone here. I have shared the email ID in the chat. I'm also sharing it with the audience here. So if you have any questions or any concerns, you can feel free to reach out to me. You can also reach out on our website and we can help you out with the curriculum details. Thank you so much, everyone, again, for taking the time out and joining the session today. You can, once the session ends, you can give us a feedback regarding the quality of the session. We are always looking to improve. Also subscribe to the YouTube channel so that next time we go live, you get an update, you get notified. Thank you again and have a great evening ahead, everyone. Thank you and bye-bye.